Well, that's too much thigh.
You did have a lot of thigh. I was like, what is that? Hi, I'm Nick.
And I'm Josh.
And this is the PUDs Podcast. That was a lot of thigh. It was like
a lot of thigh, dude.
It's a lot of thigh.
That was like, whew.
A lot of thigh.
I would have been banned in the Catholic Church.
All right, man. So what's up? PUDs episode 4.
What's going on, man? What's going on?
Nothing much. Just continuing to check our downloads. We're officially on Google Podcast now too, which we actually weren't before. We're on a premium account, premium plan now, off of Buzzsprout, because we actually couldn't have uploaded more content for I think like a month or something if we didn't. So we're officially locked into this thing now, I suppose.
We're big time.
Yeah.
We're one of the big boys.
Oh yeah,
We're
for sure. For sure, whatever that is.
We're listed.
Whatever
We're
that
listed
is.
everywhere. You can get you can get the PUDs everywhere.
Yep. Maybe you gotta work on a YouTube channel after some feedback today. It sounds like there are a couple folks who would be interested in maybe watching us on video and actually seeing our beautiful faces live while we record these things.
I like
and
that.
Josh's juicy man thighs that he was showing earlier as we were starting to record.
So juicy.
It's a lot of weight. It's not yet. It's not quite summer yet.
Yeah, it's almost summertime.
What'd you get up to this week, man?
Not much. Well, actually, super busy week. Super busy. But basically, T-ball practice. Jeremiah started T-ball, so I went to that. The other night, watched the Celtics game. Oh my goodness, dude! They blew Game 5.
Give me the breakdown.
They blew it. Did you watch any of that game?
I actually did not watch it.
They freaking blew it. They blew it.
I read about it and saw people just unloading about it.
This is the issue that they've had all year. Is they get out to these leads, they get comfortable, and then they take their foot off the gas and let the worst team get back into the ball game. And unfortunately for them, that's what happened in Game 5. 6 minutes left, they kind of took their foot off the gas. They're up 10 points. Take their foot off the gas. Next thing you know, it's a couple turnovers and
so just getting comfortable.
And they're just getting sloppy. And I don't know what Joe Mazzulla's issue is with timeouts. I don't know if he's trying to save them, if he gets a big check at the end of the year, if you don't use all your timeouts.
Timeout bonus.
Yeah, but this guy never calls a timeout. The Hawks went on a 12-0 run to take the lead back from the Celtics in that fourth quarter, and this guy never called a timeout. I don't get it. So you can never get a chance to regroup. You're telling these guys, go out, figure it out on your own out there. Well, you're the coach. It's your job to figure it out. That's what you get paid for. They get paid to play the game. You get paid to figure out the game plan and change things up as they need to be.
The fundamentals of the coach-player relationship.
Yeah. But so I don't understand why he never calls timeouts to regroup and get the focus back locked in. But so they didn't deserve to win that game. They didn't deserve to win because they got sloppy. They threw that game away, and now tonight we're looking at a Game 6, and hopefully they can walk away so we don't have to see another Atlanta Hawks Game 7. We don't want that.
Were they at home last night too?
The Celtics?
Yeah.
No, they were on the road. They were on.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
No, yeah, no,
it's 2-3.
no.
Is it 2-2-1 they usually do, or?
They were at home. I'm sorry, I lied.
Okay.
They were at home. So now they're on the road for a Game 6. Now a team that didn't need any confidence now has a ton of confidence.
Yeah, they got the home crowd and everything else behind them.
Yeah, so we'll see. But the Heat just upset the Bucks, the 1 seed Bucks. They knocked them out of the playoffs. Jimmy Butler playing like an absolute animal. So now you got a scary.
Yeah, the Heat had to play in too, right?
Yeah. So now you got
I thought so.
You got a scary Heat team. So, and if the Celtics win this series, they play this a tough 76ers team. You beat the 76ers, and if the Heat win, well, you might have a chance at a rematch of last year's Eastern Conference Finals. So we'll see what happens, but they got to play much better than they're playing right now. But
that's tough.
That's enough for me. What'd you get up to?
Not too much. Got out, did a little fishing one day last week, but just kind of a busy week / weekend.
Yeah.
Was pretty stoked last week golfing together. Shot like a 93 at Segi. So
yeah,
I was pretty stoked. I had a chance to break 90. I think I blew it on like 16 with like a triple bogey.
Yeah.
So I mean, cumulatively blew it, but I was pretty happy for the second outing of the season. I was stoked.
No, you played a hell of a round. That was something to watch, and like to the point where you wouldn't even let me talk about it. I'm like, oh, you're doing a great job. You're like, shut the hell up.
No, if you're coming off, I was coming off like under 50 on the front. I think I shot a 42 or 43 on the front nine, which for me is pretty good. For some people, there's many people that would be like, oh, you're playing like crap. But for me, that's pretty good, especially for like this early in the season and whatnot.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was pretty happy about that. But
I get it though. It's like a no hitter. You just don't talk about it.
No, I totally get in my own head. That's like half the battle is like just this hole, these shots. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And try to just stay calm, make some putts and whatnot.
Yeah, but you shot well. It was a fun round.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I think this week maybe get into some dad talk. I think.
Yeah.
What's new in your dad life?
Well, I just brought up T-ball a little bit.
Yeah.
So Jeremiah did officially start T-ball, and I remember if I could requote myself, I want no part of T-ball, but now I've gone to the first T-ball practice, and I'm like, okay.
Gotten your feet wet?
Yeah, I'm like, I don't want to coach. I still don't want to coach it.
You're standing by that decision. You didn't have any second thoughts of being like, maybe I should coach T-ball for under 6-year-olds.
No, because I told my wife, I'm like, I would have been out there with the whistle, getting these kids on the at home plate, and like, all right, we're running,
doing suicides every time they miss the T-ball.
Yeah, laps. But
burpees.
It's a bunch of kids that don't know which hand the glove goes on. The coach asks, does everybody here know how to throw a baseball? And they're all like, yeah, we do. And then immediately you find out, not one of them know how to throw a baseball. But it was fun to see like my son's first actual like organized sport, and he had a blast. Like he left there with the biggest smile on his face, like slept like a rock that night because he was running around the whole time. And it was nice because it's not like if this is his first year. He's still 4, so he's still one of the younger kids out there. But
yeah, what are is it just like under 6?
It's like 4. I think 4 to 6. Okay. So he's like on the younger spectrum. So it was just nice to see that, like, oh, okay. Even though he hasn't done anything else organized, like he hasn't gone into any other sports, but this is his first one. But everybody's kind of at the same level. So it's not like he just sticks out and he's not having fun because everybody else knows what they're doing and he doesn't. So as a dad, it's like nice to sit back there and see, okay, like I want my son to get into sports. I want him to enjoy it. It's something I enjoyed as a kid, but I'm not going to push. I don't want to push too hard to the point where it's not fun for him and he doesn't want to do it.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to discourage him that early too.
Right.
To think of it as like a negative thing.
Right. So that's why it was nice, because it was just a bunch of kids at the same level that he's at, and like we left there and he's like, I can't wait for the game. I can't wait to see my new best friend Jackson. I'm like, who's Jackson? He's like, he's number 3. And I'm like, oh, all right, you guys are best friends now? And he's like, yeah. By the way, you forgot to buckle me in. And I'm like, oh, sorry.
This is actually when they got home.
Yeah, no, it did not. He's smart enough to know, okay, something's not right yet. So he got me like when I was just backing out. He's like, Dad, you missed something.
I feel a little bit unrestrained.
Yeah. He's like, you missed something. And I'm like, what? And he's like, my buckles. And I'm like, oh, thank you very much.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's smart. But yeah, that's one of the joys of parenting and watching your kids grow up, is like you see that, yeah, he's definitely just a young version of me. Like his attention span is 0. My attention span is 0. Like, he just makes up imagination things in his brain all the time and always has, like, a storyline going on. Even while he's out there playing baseball, he's, like, throwing the ball around and making a game out of it. He's like, oh, go get it. It's Baby Yoda's food. You gotta go get it.
That's so cool. I think one thing that's so awesome about kids like that age too is there's just like this unbounded creativity. I feel like as adults sometimes too it's tough to be creative like that, but kids just like they just ooze
because there's no shame.
There's no shame. There's no there's no like I'd say like social limitations. I don't even know what you call that. Where if you just run in the supermarket and like start grabbing apples or something to be like, this is Baby Yoda's food, like people are gonna react to that.
And that's kind of, I don't know. I guess it's gonna be tough later in life because eventually, right? He's gonna be a young man and he's gonna grow up and there's gonna be kids that pick on him and whatever. Hopefully he's not picking on other kids, but he might. But that's when you start, that creativity starts to like dwindle because it's like, oh well, why are they teasing me because of this? Maybe this is not something normal, and then it kind of takes away some of that imagination, things like that. So, I mean, those are things that I guess we'll have to watch out for as we go, but I think he'll be fine. Yeah,
I think he'll be doing just fine. Yeah. He's a funny kid.
He's a little social butterfly, that kid.
Yeah, he's not shy.
No, not at all. Not at all. But yeah, so that was a lot of fun. Like I said, I'll eat my words as far as T-ball in general is concerned, but as far as coaching, no. Like, I stand by that. I want no part of that.
How many do they have? Like a coach and an assistant coach?
Yeah, he had like 2 assistant coaches. It seemed like they were like guys that already knew each other, or maybe their kids were on this team last year. So they had a little group of 3 or 4 kids that already knew each other a little bit. But like I said, they're all 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah, they're all fresh.
Yeah, they're all fresh, ready to go, and at the same level. So it was cool. But how about anything fun out of the baby?
So I think I was mentioning you briefly when you just got here. But Ryland is figuring out how to like throw things off tables and laugh and stuff. So that's pretty funny. Yeah, she's been doing, like, last night we were giving her some food and like some toys on her little like high chair. And we were giving her, there's like this little kind of container thing that they can hold where you can put like frozen grapes or fruit or whatever in it that they can like suck on and kind of chew on and gnaw on. It's pretty cool, really. You can kind of introduce all sorts of fruits and stuff without worrying about seeds. And
for all parents, or any expecting parents or any parents with young children, those things that he's talking about they're like pops that you can put fruit in.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Those things are incredible because there's no mess. Like, they can just chew on the thing that's contained in the little silicone.
Yeah, it's like perforated with little holes so they can just kind of gnaw on it. But
those things are good for teething too. Like, you freeze up the fruit in the little thing. Yeah, those things are awesome.
But so yeah, we kept giving her like a grape in it, and I don't know if she did it 5 or 6 times, but she literally was just like, while looking at us, just like threw it off her high chair, and then just started giggling, which is adorable, but also at the same time we're like, oh man.
Yeah,
she's starting to.
It's awesome when they start finding things fun. Like, they start finding their own humor. Like,
oh yeah, she thinks she's hysterical sometimes. Like, we'll just be reading like a story and like kangaroos or something. She just starts like cracking up, and we're like, "What's so funny?" And like she just it's so funny. Yeah. And she's starting to do sort of a thing too, where it's like she's super proud of herself. Like, you'll just be like, "Good job, Wordham." She like gets like she like smiles and like with her whole face. And
dude, that. Like, Jeremiah will do that. He's like, he'll come up to me and say, "Daddy, I wanted to make you proud, so I ate all my dinner."
Oh,
like, that melts your heart, dude. Yeah. That's all you want is your kid to. Well, all he wants is to make me proud, and it's like, oh, you just make me proud every day, just by waking up every day,
just existing.
Like, you are my seed. I am already proud of you.
Is there anything he ever says where I want to do this to make you proud of me, and it's just something utterly ridiculous?
Oh, all the time, dude. All the time. He's like, Daddy, I put Michelangelo on my shelf so I can watch. He can watch me at night so I can make you proud. And I'm like, all right, like, but I told you to get dressed about 20 times already, and we're gonna be late for church. Like, let's go.
Like, we need to get it in gear.
Yeah, it's funny, dude. He'll say stuff like that all the time. Like, it's hilarious. Like, and he'll pick up things that, like, I didn't even expect. Like, I didn't even think he was paying attention to. Like, I got him out of the shower the other day, and he's like, Daddy, what's this thing down here? And I'm like, oh, that's your ball sack. And
yeah, because what else do you call it? I mean,
yeah, I don't know. And I'm not like, I try not to like BS with my kid. Like, I just try to be honest with him, because whatever, he's got to learn whatever. I'm not telling him, hey, yeah, go and show it to everybody. No, those are your privates. That's your ball sack. You keep it in your pants. Yep. You don't touch it in front of other people. You don't touch it right now in general. And if anybody else touches it, that's an issue, and you need to tell somebody. So I tell him, like, yeah, that's your ball sack. He's like, oh, my balls go in there? That's where I put my balls? And I'm like, eventually they'll drop down into there, but no, yeah. But it's so
like it's complicated.
Yeah, no kidding. And whatever, but like, I don't think that's going to come back to bite me until the next morning, where he's literally laying on the bed in my room and he's got a touching his ball sack, and he's like, Mommy, guess what? I have a ball sack. And she gives me the look like, how does he even know what that is? And I'm like, listen, I don't know. I told him. I'm not going to lie to the kid. That is his ball sack. Don't touch it.
I'm sure there's a anatomical term for it, but yeah, it's
scrotum.
But I feel like sometimes, yeah, there you go. But I feel like sometimes like adults will make up like silly names for things like that, and it's like, just call it. It's like,
just call it what it is, man. Yeah, we don't gotta pretend, because then they're somewhere else. Because guess what? Then they're somewhere else. If you call it something else, because now if there's an actual issue, like say there is an issue and somebody touched him where he's not supposed to be touched, and you call it like, oh, I don't know, my cookies, like. Oh, if he comes back to your house and is like, oh, the teacher took my touched my cookies and whatever, you're gonna be confused as to, all right, did this is he talking about like a private part of his body, or is he talking about some food that he brought for lunch? So that's actually a really valid point. Yeah, that's why I don't play around with that stuff. I don't. If it's something he doesn't need to know. I'll just say, hey, look, there's Sonic the Hedgehog is running down the street, and his attention will be gone, and then I don't have to talk about it anymore. But if it's something he needs to know, or it's something like I don't mind answering the question for him, like I'm just gonna answer it to him, because yeah, he's a kid, but not everything's gonna like scar your kid for life. Like if I tell him he has a ball sack now, like it's not gonna be the end of the world. No. Like so. Yeah, because you don't want those things. Those are things that you have to think about with all young children, is especially if you send them away to daycare and preschool and things like that, even regular school. Like, if you're not around them, and something happens. Yeah, like you want to have common sense awareness about all. You want them to be able to communicate that to you. So. Yeah. That's something I've been conscientious. Well, we know we can communicate it now. We can communicate ball sack. Yeah. That being said, I think I might let Mom handle that department with our daughter, but we'll see. Yeah. That's smart. Yeah. That's smart thinking. That's the card. I'm probably in trouble with my wife anyways for doing that, but that's okay. That's the card I'm playing. Brief aside, I just thought how many funny situations or certain situations that would be super funny where if you just yelled Sonic the Hedgehog is running down the street, like in a serious work context or something, and then you just leave the room. At work? Yeah. Just, Josh, shit. Why didn't you get these reports to me on time? Look, Sonic the Hedgehog's running down the street. Oh, he is? And then I'm gone. I'm gone, never to come back. No Sonic. Speaking of work, dude, somebody left a ton of pubes on my toilet in my office. Like, I don't understand. So I have a private toilet in my office. And it sounds like you have an issue if it's supposed to be only you using it. Yeah. Well, listen, I don't mind if other people use it. Just clean up after yourself. But I just don't understand, like, how do you lose that many pubes? Like, are you in there shaving your pubes into my toilet? Whoever you are, you better cut it out. You better keep them pubes where they're supposed to be. If you're out there listening, keep your bits to yourself. Are you shedding pubes? Like, even in, like, you see it in public restrooms, too. Like, you go into a stall. Say, like, man, I was, but how? Stopping at rest areas and stuff all the time. I mean, not all the time. More specifically, I'd say between Mass and New Hampshire myself and stuff. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, I gotta give a shout out to New Hampshire rest areas. Like, the ones on 93 are, like, really nice and clean. But you start going to some on, like, 495 and Mass or whatever, it's like, dude... It's like going into a closet with like a stall, and you look like you're in 1965, and I just don't get it.
Again, I'm not cleaning them. I'm not trying to criticize the people that do clean them, but I'm just saying, man, it's sometimes you shouldn't be holding back vomit when you're just trying to pee on the way home.
See, well, that stuff doesn't discuss. Like, it's gross, but like, I'm not gonna not sit down on that toilet because there's some pubes. Like, just I'll give them the get it off of there, or I'll swipe it with the toilet paper or whatever.
Just a gentle blow.
Yeah, gentle blow it off there. But like, it's like how is that many just sloughing off of you when you're just using the bathroom? Like 50, 60, 70, 80 pubes like all over the place.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot, man. It's gross.
It's a high concentration.
Yeah, that's funny, but that's a tangent. I just went on a complete tangent.
No, it's fine.
Back to dad life.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of dad life too. Friend of the podcast.
Yeah, my buddy Jeff, and
Coach
also
Jeff.
I was gonna say, and his wife Alyssa, who's also a good friend, just had a little baby this week.
Yeah.
So if you guys are listening, I'm not sure if he's listening to this podcast or not, but we're gonna give you a shout out anyways because it's beautiful. It's life.
You
Super happy for you guys. Love you guys, and I love how you're threatening. As I'm like, love you guys. Josh is threatening.
You listen to me. You better be listening.
I don't give a.
We know you're not sleeping. We know you're not sleeping.
Oh yeah, we know you're not.
So
sleeping.
you better be listening to the PUDs pod.
There's no way you're sleeping, so you might as well just listen to the PUDs pod. Though I should qualify it. Listen to the PUDs pod in like one earbud or something because you need to listen to your child too.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, don't just black out like all other sound.
No
noise cancellations with the PUDs podcast with a new child in the house. But yeah, super happy for you guys. Congratulations again. Glad everything seemed to have gone well, and mom and baby are doing well, and Jeff's hanging in there, I'm sure, by a thread at this point. Yeah, he's probably crushing it. He's gonna be a great dad.
Congratulations, guys. But yeah, the sleep's over, so you guys better the 3 days or however many days you're at the hospital for, you better take full advantage.
Sleep. I think one of the hardest sleeps I've had in my life thus far was like initially after I think the first night or whatever we were there, and I think I slept like 3 hours straight, and I swore like I slept for like 2 days. That's what it felt. Your body just goes out.
I think I didn't sleep for like 3 days. Like it was like a couple spurts of like an hour at a time. It was wild.
We're still working on that permission to be able to disclose the birth stories, but it's not coming out yet. But we have some ideas coming up that should be fun with.
That was what they said. That's what they said at the birth. It's not coming out yet, so you're gonna be there for a while. But yeah, I'm sure Melissa will be on it sometime. She can tell that story, and then I'll just add on to it. But yeah, so it's that first like few days at the hospital. That's crazy stuff. So Jeff, you better buckle up, buddy.
Yeah,
buckle on up.
For sure. Not that I'm that much ahead of you, but I can't say that the miracle of childbirth was amazing, but I can't say I'm actually enviable of the situation of no sleep. Right now. At least right now.
Yeah.
Maybe one day. But
yeah, man. But basically, back to being dads and doing stuff.
That's the technical term. Yeah. Just doing stuff. The moms are amazing and do all these things. We just do stuff.
I know. We just kind of hang around and whatever they need. Nick, I need you to come change the diaper. Yes, dear. Thank you for letting me be helpful in the situation. That's how it goes. But yeah, it's a hell of a thing.
Hey,
dude.
I try to be proactive as a dad.
I know you do.
I'm changing those diapers.
I know you are. Yeah. I know you are. That's part of.
I'm giving baths.
Yeah, it's honestly.
Does anybody ever discuss too how slippery babies are with soap on them in the bathtub when you're trying to get them out of the bath?
You might be over soaping, dude.
I don't know, man. I rinsed her off pretty good, but it's like, man,
too much soap.
That smooth, fresh baby skin combined with soap, it's just like
I just imagine you dumping half of a tub of soap on the baby.
It's like, is this a lot? And it's like half a gallon of Johnson & Johnson's.
Oh my goodness.
This is how much I use every single time.
But yeah, I don't know. I think you and I both, like, and a lot of my friends and people that I know that have kids, like, we take a lot of pride in like being dads, and it's to be honest with you, it's one of my most favorite things. Like, we talk about hobbies on this podcast a lot. That is one of my favorite hobbies, dude. I love being a dad. I love hanging out with my son. I love doing stuff with him, playing with his little action figures and stuff like that. Like, I love that time. And I love, like I said before, just when he comes up to me and says, Dad, I want to make you proud or whatever, like, it's the feeling that you have of just watching this little person grow into a independent human being, dude. It hits you in such a spot that it's like, it's unlike anything else. And only people that have children probably can understand what I mean, because it's hard to explain, like, the sense of joy, the sense of love, the sense of caring that you have for this human being. Like, it's immense. And it's, like I said, it's literally my favorite hobby. I said I like being a lazy piece of shit, but my best hobby is being a dad. Like, I love being a dad.
Yeah, it's super fun. I can't wait till she gets a little bit older to be able to do all sorts of different stuff. We did go hiking with her a couple weeks back, which was really cool.
Yeah, that's gonna get even better.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it's fun though. She's definitely getting a little personality and stuff. You can tell she's starting to do different things when she's like doesn't want more food or wants food or is just generally, sometimes she's just tired and sleepy and cranky and like.
It's funny how, like, genetics are too, like how, like, the things that your kid finds funny, or like the little mannerisms or habits that they just pick up, that it's like, that's not like you taught them, like, to find whatever you were saying before, kangaroos funny on this page, or throwing that thing on the floor. Yeah. It's like they just pick up these mannerisms and these qualities, and it's like stuff that's just inbred in them, like it's ingrained in them, that they're just born with, like, not things that, it's not like you went and threw something on the floor and picked it up and started laughing about it. No, it's like, it's funny how that works, and like the psychology of that and genetics and all that stuff. Like, I find that stuff like super, super interesting, but I'm not smart enough to research it, and I don't have enough of attention like to look into it.
Sort of the nature versus nurture thing. Yeah, it's the other thing she's been doing lately. We just have like TV trays downstairs for, like, I don't know, our drinks, or if we're eating down there or whatever. And it's kind of on like a slippery play mat right now. And she'll be crawling around. She just grabs the TV tray to try to like lift herself up or do stuff. So you'll just be like eating dinner, and she like yanks the TV tray away. And she looks up at you too. She's like doing it, being like, oh yeah.
She's looking for that reaction. Yeah. She like, wants that attention.
She's like, no, you don't need to eat that food right now. Yeah. Baby wants food.
Oh man, that's a good voice. You got to use that one. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, Ash always teases me, but for some reason, whenever I do Rowan's voice,
it's just like a sultry man voice.
No, like a sultry, like 60-year-old smoker, like, oh yeah, baby,
come on,
baby want food, baby really hungry.
Smashed peas.
Oh yeah,
bring on the smashed peas.
Baby really love apples. Apples are baby's favorite.
Oh my goodness,
I could do that all day.
Oh man. But
it's super gratifying being a dad though, and even though she's super young, like I love just chilling with it. Like on last Sunday, we just kind of hung out and didn't really do much, and just sitting with her on my lap or playing with her, and just crawling all over me, trying to rip my hair out, and sometimes successfully ripping some of my hair out.
It's just something just about it, man. There's something about it. Just looking into that baby's eyes, takes everything away. Like whatever your day was is like, if you had a bad day, just picking up that kid, looking into its eyes, and just being like, oh, this is a part of me. Like, it just takes away all that bad feeling and stuff like that. Even when they're pissing you off, like, I don't know. It's like, I just look at him and I'm like, yeah, I love that. I love that little guy more than anything else in this world. It's crazy.
Is it weird that I feel that way when we get in the corner of your eye out of us facing each other with the microphones and the podcast?
Oh man, but I think I owe everybody a Sailor Josh story.
You do. I was going to mention that.
Josh.
All right, everybody, buckle up.
So, I brought it up last episode. Little Sailor Josh. Little Sailor Josh. So,
did he have a beard?
No, I can picture. He had like big old titties. He's like I said. So I'm like, every summer I went away to summer camp, right? And for some reason,
what were we talking about? We're gonna set the scene. What years are we talking? Like 96, 97?
No, we're probably talking about like 99, 2000. Like I'm probably like 2000. 9, 10. Yeah, I'm probably like 9, 10, maybe 11. So maybe 2001.
Right.
So I'm either like between 9 and 11. And like my mother would send me, I would go to camp every year. Every summer I would go to camp, whether it be at the Boys and Girls Club. I would go to basketball camp. I looked forward to basketball camp every summer at New Bedford Vogue. I would go do.
I'm not shocked.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved basketball camp. So it was like, yeah, and I lived right across the street from the Boys and Girls Club in New Bedford.
Oh yeah,
so
that's right. I forgot you lived right over there
yeah,
too.
I spent so much of my time there, and I'd want to go to summer camp there. That's where all my friends are.
Yep.
But my mother would send me away to Camp Massasoit in Mattapoisett, and I'm like, whatever, it is what it is. Like, she didn't have to pay for it, so that's probably why she sent me there. And then it's like a regular camp that has like whatever, kids playing kickball, whatever, wiffle ball, a swimming pool, basketball, all that stuff, like the regular camp games, archery and stuff like that. So it sounds fun, but my mother would not sign me up for regular camp. She would send me to sailing camp. So I gotta watch all these kids out there playing games, playing Duck Duck Goose and whatever.
Having the time of their lives.
Yeah, having the time of their lives. And I'm like 200-pound 10-year-old, like struggling to survive sailing. Like, so I hated it. I hated every minute of it. And I didn't understand why. I'm like, this sucks.
So you didn't have a choice or anything? She just picked sailing camp?
Yeah, there was no choice, dude. Like, so I'm 9. What choice do I have? Like, I don't want to go to sailing camp. Shut the hell up. You're going to sailing camp. Mommy needs her alone time. Ah, damn it. Just pack me a good lunch. No. Oh, man. So I got shitty lunches. I'm at sailing camp with shitty lunches. Like, I can swim, but once again, I'm a big fat freaking 9-10-year-old, and I got no upper body strength. So guess what? If I fell in the water, there was no getting back in the boat because I couldn't lift myself back up. You know how embarrassing it is to be the only person in sailing camp that can't pull their fat ass back onto the boat? And like, we talked about my thighs before, dude. I'm trying to get that leg. I'm trying to get that leg up over the side of the boat, and my titties popping out the side of the life vest. Like, so, like, it's embarrassing. It's traumatizing.
Probably wearing sunscreen, so like you're all slippery trying to get in like an acrylic boat.
I'm all slick, so I'm like a greased up hog, dude. And they're trying to like all pull me in. And it's a bunch of like Mattapoisett kids, and I'm like a little New Bedford kid. Like, I don't even have swim trunks on, dude. I'm wearing basketball shorts to sailing camp. Like, with no, like, I got regular shoes on. Like, I'm not prepared for sailing camp. It's not like I grew up around sailors that are like, oh yeah, this is the jib, this is the mainsail, this is what you do, and then when you get in the water, you gotta do this. No, I am a fat, basketball playing, chubby, snack eating, like 9-10-year-old that is all greased up trying to get in and out of this boat, and it's horrendous. So, and then I got to sail all day. I'm out in the sun all day getting freaking cooked up. It just smells like bacon in the boat all day because
I still feel like it's one of those things now where even when we were kids, like in the 90s, like they knew about skin cancer, but like not like they do now.
Oh yeah,
like it's so more of a preemptive thing. I got vaporized a few times at the beach as a child. I remember,
and there wasn't even that nice spray sunscreen at that point. It's still that slap it on and rub it in.
Just a little sunburn. It's like I think I have heat stroke.
Yeah, dude. So I would like. It was just terrible. So I'd be out in the sun all day, like just cutting the jib and hoisting the mainsail and all that bull crap, and it's like terrible. And then I'm like nervous all day because I know if that boat like capsizes, I'm out of that boat and I'm not getting back in the boat, so I gotta swim back to wherever, or I have to have these other 9, 10, 11.
Where were you guys, like in a pond or in the bay or something?
No, it was in the bay over in Mattapoisett.
So it's not even like just fully out in the ocean.
Yeah, so
well, in the bay, but still.
Yeah, and then I just have to hope that somebody else is gonna help me get back in. But 9, 10, 11, 12-year-old boys from Mattapoisett, they're not nice boys that are like, oh yeah, I'll help you out, buddy. I got you. we can do this together. They're like, look at that little piggy. Look at that little piggy swimming around in the water. He can't get back in.
Awful.
It was terrible.
That's awful.
And then I got to sail back on down to camp. And guess what? They're all over there roasting up s'mores and fucking having like milk and cookies. And I'm like, they're playing kickball and dodgeball. And I'm like, I've just been sailing all day. I didn't get to have any fun. I didn't have no fun at camp.
Like, I'm sunburned. I'm greasy. I'm sweaty.
And I had to go back again and do it tomorrow. Like, it was terrible.
Yippee.
So that was the story of Little Sailor Josh.
Little Sailor Josh.
Yeah. That was a terrible story. That was a terrible experience.
I can tell it still seems to haunt you.
Oh, so mad. I hold such a grudge.
Do you have dreams someone's just dropping you off at sailing camp?
No, because I listen, I've grown into my masculine male body now. I can pull myself up over a rail, maybe. Probably. I can get in and out of a pool, so I think I'll be all right.
I didn't really do summer camp that much.
No?
I think I just was like one of those kids. Like, I just didn't want to go away to camp and like be with other kids.
So what'd you do all summer?
I'd played with other kids, but I'd go to like a babysitter's house. Like, we had one in our neighborhood that I was kind of the same age as one of her sons, but there'd be like all the neighborhood. There'd be like probably a dozen neighborhood kids. So we'd
just
be
at
doing
the
stuff.
house.
Yeah, just hanging out. We'd be doing all sorts of stuff, playing wiffle ball, baseball.
Yeah.
I was also a chunky little guy at that point, so riding my scooter and stuff. Probably.
Oh yeah, doing
1999
scooters.
Razor scooters.
Yeah.
I vividly remember once going down a hill near my parents' house and like crush on the brake because like obviously you didn't want to go like 50 miles per hour and die. But I remember at one point, like, literally using someone's scooter and I melted the wheel and, stood on it and, literally flattened their wheel and they were super pissed. Probably because I weighed, like, 80 more pounds than this kid weighed, too, and let me borrow his scooter.
We all did all that dumb. Like, I remember going down a hill near my house and, like, literally going down the hill straight into a fence. Popping both my tires and like almost breaking my leg.
Dude, I remember my dad being pissed at the time too, just because I think he was like, it was one of those things where you have moments where you're super proud of your kids, but like it was one of those where I'm like, he was like, dude, like what are you doing? But I remember sledding with a bunch of people and like I literally like sled directly like towards a tree and like whacked my head and like bit through part of my tongue. And I remember that conversation just like, what are you doing? Like it was probably like I was old enough to know what I was doing. Yeah. And being kind of an idiot. But see, that's part of growing up, and that's one of those things too. I feel like kids nowadays, man, it's like I'm sure it still happens, but we're talking like we're a lot older. But compared to people who are like in the 70s or 80s, I mean, growing up even earlier than that, I'm sure they have even crazier stories. But it was cool that I feel like we left an era where it wasn't phones and internet, and like we were just out all day doing random shit. Yeah, it's that stuff doesn't happen anymore. Like literally, which I would get home from school and just like walk back and forth in front of my friend's house until he got home. Oh yeah. Or like until I got the courage to go ring the doorbell and ask if he was home. And then you go outside and you just play all day until my mother would just yell out the door like Josh. Yep. And we were usually right across the street, so it was like, yeah, you just come right back home and do your thing. But yeah, it was all day. We were out there all day, like causing mischief. Oh, we used to like light fires in the wood. That was like a big thing. Goodness. I have a theory that most young males are just all pyromaniacs at some point in their life. But we used to just light fires and stuff. Nothing dangerous, but like we used to just be obsessed, like go in the woods, like make friction fires and stuff. Like I remember doing that. Like we used to just do it for fun all the time. Since this is past the statutes of limitations, like we would go behind. We would go behind the Boys and Girls Club and just gather up all the dead leaves, take the barbecue lighter from my house and just light a big ass pile of leaves on fire. And then like one time it got so big, like we tried to like piss it out and there was not enough piss in the world to get that fire out, so we literally just left. We just left that fire burning. And God. I just run back inside the house and my mother would be like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Nothing. Why does it smell like smoke?" I don't know. Somebody's cooking outside. And you run right up into the shower and like kind of clean off all the smoke. And you like, why do you smell like a barbecue? Nah, somebody's cooking doing that. That's weird. You hear fire trucks in the background. Oh, the fire trucks definitely pull. I watched the fire trucks pull up. Like that was super reckless. I remember being even older in high school and college. I used to have like Friday night sort of fires, or like later on after we got out of work and stuff. And we used to just light fires, and like that was it. Yeah. We weren't even doing anything. I remember one night, one of my buddies like I think they were sword fighting with like sticks on fire or something, just something stupid.
Crazy.
And like one of them like whacked in like a piece of the wood on one of their like swords, so to speak, like literally split off like a flame and ended up on my parents' roof, like almost in the gutter. When there were leaves and stuff, and like literally like without thinking just like had to scurry. There was a ladder outside luckily in the shed, so I got that, but I had to like run up there and like take it out as the gutters were lighting on fire. And it was funny, like the next day my parents were like, are you guys like doing anything outside? My parents were luckily like well asleep by that point, but I remember my dad being like, why is the ladder out? And I'm like, that's I was
weird.
I was like, oh, it's not
burglar.
Like, yeah, I was like, yeah, there was like a nest or something in the gutter, and someone was checking it out. There was like a hornet's nest up there or something. We were checking it out. We noticed it last night. We knocked it down. I didn't almost set the house on fire.
That's funny.
Don't worry. Just like, don't worry about that.
Those are the things that we got to look out for our kids, because you know it's going to be happening. Like, you know, whatever you did as a kid, that's the thing. You got to be smart about it now. Like, what was I doing? Okay, this guy's probably doing the exact same thing. So cut it out. Jeremiah, I'm telling you right now, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't light those fires. Do not light those fires. Like, my father used to go up to New Hampshire and buy fireworks, and we would just light up.
My dad would do it too, yeah.
We would light up Roman candles and just shoot them at each other.
It's funny, you can still buy fireworks up there, but I feel like it's just not, like, you don't see it as much anymore. I feel like for some reason it just quelled down the last, like the last 15, 20 years that I've been going up there, which is probably a good thing. But I mean, we used to buy, like, just hundreds of dollars worth of fireworks.
Maybe
and, like,
the laws changed or something.
That's my theory. Yeah. I think a lot of the places too just don't want you lighting them off. That being said, we stayed, the place we stayed at in 2021? I think Ian brought like a bunch or whatever.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I was not super happy as the renter either. And maybe I was hoping he'd fall in the river, but he's not a part of anything anymore in our family. So
whatever. You know what did fall in the river? You threw that speaker in the river like a douchebag. I think this one's waterproof. It's like this river is moving at like a nice clip.
That's not one of my prouder moments of leave no trace mentality for sure. But me and Josh were chilling in the Pemigewasset River around Loon. We had rented a house over there, and I have these UE boom speakers, and they're noted that they can float. And the thing is we did figure out they can float, but I just wasn't thinking we're in like a slippery rock bed kind of chilling out in the middle of the river. And tossed when I was like, hey Josh, can you get this? And like you were just totally chilling out, not anticipating it.
You didn't even throw it anywhere near me.
I didn't even throw it anywhere near you. I'm not great at throwing things near people sometimes.
And then it just
disappeared down the river, playing pumped up kicks by Foster the People.
Yeah.
So now every time we pass a stream or river anywhere, sometimes Josh just likes to do the bass line. He's like, boom, 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 boom,
do you hear
boom,
that?
boom,
you
boom,
hear that?
boom, boom.
There's that speaker.
Boom, 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 boom. It made its way down the Merrimack into the Atlantic Ocean.
That's funny, dude.
Oh, man.
You ready to get into the descent?
Yeah, I think so. You watched some stand-up by John Mulaney.
No, I haven't watched it yet.
Oh, you haven't watched it yet? Gotcha. He's super funny, dude.
So John Mulaney, for those of you guys that don't know, John Mulaney has a new stand-up special on Netflix, and
all his stand-up specials are fantastic in general. Like if you're into sort of dry, like bitter humor, like he's just super. Was he a writer on SNL?
Yeah, he was a writer on SNL.
Yeah.
He is one of my favorite comedians.
Oh, he's funny.
He's one of my favorite comedians. Melissa bought me tickets for my birthday one year to go see him, and like 2 days before we were supposed to go there, he canceled it because he was like hosting Saturday Night Live. And then they never rescheduled it, and I was so pissed, dude.
That's a bummer.
I was so pissed. But so he has a new special, so I'm gonna be watching that. And for anybody that's into comedy, like he's one of the best. Like he's super hilarious. So I would definitely suggest you guys check that out. Check out John Mulaney. Check out if there's any more Dave Chappelle ones out there. He's another one of my favorites.
Yeah, I saw his most recent one. I know Chris Rock's one was getting backlash because he talked about the Will Smith thing. And let me say something, like straight up, like if you get punched in the face by someone at like an event like that as a comedian, you can do whatever and say whatever you want about it for your advantage. He was really quiet about it for a while. It was funny. I think it's just it seems like some people really in the media and stuff have been like, oh my god, I can't believe you said it. Like, dude, Will Smith should have been kicked out of that event. Like if you punch someone in the face in real life anywhere else I can't just walk into a convenience store and punch someone in the face and walk away.
Yeah.
Like you can't do that.
It's assault.
My brief rant on that, but I just thought it was funny. But that stand-up's on my list to watch as well. I heard it was really good and really funny.
Yeah, I like Chris Rock, like Bill Burr. Bill Burr's another one. Bill Burr.
Brian Regan.
I love Brian Regan.
You've seen him before too, right?
I saw Brian Regan at the Melody tent, the Cape Cod Melody tent.
He's cool too because he's like a pretty clean comedian.
Yeah, he's clean. He's a clean comedian. He's
which
funny.
Is more rare. I feel like. I mean, it's always kind of been more not rare, but it's been more the odd man out kind of thing.
I saw him live. I saw Chappelle. I saw Dave Chappelle live. That was like he's number one. Like for me, Dave Chappelle is the best comedian of all time. I love Dave Chappelle, and I got to see him live, and that was awesome. Like he's the bomb. Like,
I think one of the stand-up specials that still makes, or any of the stand-up specials that make me laugh the most are Robin Williams. Some of the ones he did like live on Broadway.
Some of that old though, like
dude, they're older and there's some references in there, but for the most part they're hysterical. Still, his brain is just insane. Like how quickly, like I feel like it's one of those things. I'm sure with Chappelle and some of those other guys too. Like you can watch it again and get different jokes out of it because he's going so fast. At least for me, it's like I don't catch everything in the first go around.
Yeah,
there's a lot of like under humor underneath the main jokes and everything.
He's Robin Williams is one of the best too of all time, and even like Rodney Dangerfield. Like you watch some of the old clips from his stand-ups. That dude was super funny too.
Yeah, I've been listening to a lot of the like Bob Hope and Rodney Dangerfield and
my wife likes to talk after sex, so she calls me from the hotel room.
Yeah, like stuff like that.
Yeah, that's funny. But you got anything?
Not too much. Gonna be heading up to do trail maintenance next week, so getting kind of prepared to do that. Nice. Apparently, despite the warm heat wave we had, it was actually snowed like a foot out in Mount Washington, like I think yesterday, and it's snowing up there again. So nice. My trail's in the Northern Presidential, so I'm hoping that there's not too much snow up there. But we're just busy like with Mother's Day and birthdays and things until I think like mid-June.
Yeah.
Though we will be up there for Memorial Day together, but I'm not gonna bail on you guys and just go trail maintaining.
Trail maintain on Memorial Day.
Yeah, but so yeah, got that lined up, but nothing much. We've been watching ER a bunch, which I know it's a dated show, but it's on Hulu, and been enjoying that. George Clooney's only on the first couple seasons. If anybody wants us to watch it, I recommend it. Ash was watching it for a while, and I kind of didn't get into it.
I never watched ER.
It's decent. It's like at least it's fairly realistic. Like I feel like there's some medical shows like Grey's Anatomy that's God bless it. I think it's still going on, but it's just like it was just a lot of sex and ridiculous situations. So it wasn't. And like every doctor, like if you walk into a hospital and every doctor looks as good as they do on Grey's Anatomy, at least the earlier seasons, like there's just something going wrong there.
ER just reminds me of being at my aunt's house and like the TV guide, all the TV guides on the table and pack of cigarettes just ready to rock at any time.
Dude, so it's super funny. My daughter's like one of her favorite things she watches is the intro to ER, the music and the lights and stuff. I don't know what it is, but she like legitimately like just stares at it. It like really... It's kind of funny.
It's funny what mesmerizes these kids.
But she just stops whatever she's doing and just like stares at it, like eyes wide, mouth open.
She's a big Clooney fan.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Her first word was Clooney. All right, well, cool, man. I think we'll see y'all in the next one.
Yeah, see you guys on the next one. Don't forget.
Yeah, like, subscribe, give us a review, rate on us. Yep.
Follow us on social media at PUDs Podcast.
PUDs Podcast everywhere, and you can find us on any. Yeah, we've been saying, to be fair, I'll qualify. We've been saying any platform and wherever you get your podcast, but we actually weren't on Google Podcasts. We're on all these podcast kind of distributions that I've never even heard of before, but we're officially on all of them now. All of them. So find us, and tell a friend, and enjoy. Yeah, and we'll talk to y'all in the next one. Bippity boppity, give me the zoppity. Bye. PUDs Podcast was produced and recorded in Black Hat Studios by the Pud Boys. Find us on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. If you enjoyed, please consider leaving us a review and subscribing. Find us on social media, and we'll see you next time.